Dune Part 2. I did not go to the movie theaters to see this movie. I actually didn't go to the movie theaters when Part 1 came out during the pandemic. I watched it at home. Really, really liked Part 1. I thought the build up to Part 2 was done really well. It was very suspenseful, very good acting, great dialogue, and great cinematography. So I was very excited for part two. And then the trailer came out for this before the movie even came out. And something kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I didn't end up going to see it. I was just going to wait until I could watch it at home. Really didn't feel like sitting in the movies for 3 hours. I'm getting to the point where I'm only going to be doing that for specific movies that I know that I'm gonna like, or if it's something else that I haven't seen really before. Dune, I really didn't want to sit there for 3 hours, so I waited. I watched it at home, and compared to the first one, I found this one to be pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie, it is not as interesting as the first one, and I don't feel like the dialogue, the performances, everything, even the cinematography, even though there is some amazing shots, don't get me wrong. I have a big 4K TV, so it looked really good. Even though I'm streaming it, still looked really good. But I don't know. The performances were not doing it for me this time around. The dialogue was not fun to listen to. Like, I understand the story and where it's going, but the first one, I just felt like the performances made the dialogue so much better. And here, I don't really like the dialogue that much, and the performances aren't that good, so it doesn't really mesh well together. I haven't read the Dune books. I'm just going off the movie. Um, Never really had an interest in the books. I never really had an interest in these movies until like the pandemic came around and I didn't really have anything to watch. So I wasn't like overly hyped about this. I didn't really know what to expect story wise. I didn't know where it was gonna go. Um, the ending was kind of cool. Like Paul is kind of turned into a villain, but other than that, I just found it. I didn't even. I gotta be honest with you guys. I didn't even watch the whole thing. I couldn't. I got really fucking bored, and I got to a point where I'm like, okay, maybe this part of the movie, it will pick up soon. And I just felt like part one had so much build up leading up to part two, and part two just feels like more build up for the third one. I didn't know when I watched part one that there was going to be a third one. I thought part two was going to be, like the big epic finale, but it's literally just a middle chapter in this story. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but it's definitely the least interesting. I think like I said before, I think the build up from part one was just done better. It was more interesting, and then we wait a couple years for part two, and then it's kind of, to me, it felt like more build up until the final act, which I did see, and it was more of the middle half of the movie that I kind of dozed off, and the ending of the movie picks up a bit more. But after waiting all these years and just having another movie of just constant build up, if they want to build up at the beginning of the movie, I get it, but I think it's time to execute something, and nothing really happens until like the end of the movie. So at least I missed something, but I highly doubt I did. And like I said, the performances felt really dry. I don't know what it was with Timothy and Zendaya I didn't like, because I liked them in the first one, but something about this one, it just feel like they didn't want to be there. I guarantee you that Timmy Chalamet is fucking exhausted. He did Wonka and Dune like back to back, and that can take a toll on you. And it kind of, it just looks like he wasn't fully there. I don't know. It was really weird, and it kind of took me out of the movie personally. The movie also has this like GTA San Andreas like orange haze vibe to it, and I get it because they're in the desert. But the first one was like so much more crisp and clear, and had that like darker tone to it, like the Alien movies do. And then you go to this one, and it's cool that they switch up the cinematography, but like seeing this orange filter the whole movie kind of disrupted the cinematography for me. There is some scenes without it, but with the scenes with it, it was very distracting. It took away like I don't know. I just like seeing everything clear without filters on it. I know it sounds like a stupid complaint, but that's a big thing of the movie, cinematography wise. So overall, I found it boring. Am I gonna sit here and say it's a bad movie? No. Can I make a better movie? No. Is it a trash movie? No. This just I don't know if this shit isn't like really for me. I'm not really into it, or I just didn't like this movie because I did like the first one. I like Star Wars when it's done right. Like I love Revenge of the Sith. Um, I do like these movies when they're done in a certain way, and the dialogue has to be easy but not super easy to understand. This it just to me it felt like a lot of mumbo jumbo. In the first one there was a lot of explaining, but it felt very well delivered. And here I kind of just it just felt like more dialogue. Didn't really care what was going on compared to the first one when it was done way better. So I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's the writers. I have or like it could just be me. Like this could just be not my type of movie. I'm not gonna say it's trash because it's not. It is really nice to look at the end of the day, but I don't know. I just found it boring. I found it lot more dry than the first one was. The first one didn't have a lot of energy and charisma behind it, but this one is even worse in that department. Overall, I wasn't expecting too much from this movie. That's why I didn't go to the theaters and see it. After I saw the trailers, I literally felt like I already saw everything, which I did. I can confirm that after watching the movie. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch part three. I don't fucking know. We'll see when it comes out, and I'll make up my mind then. Thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace out.